Oh my god, the neighbor's kid stopped stomping around. I can actually... I can record! Hello, sillies! I tried to record when it wasn't the dead of night for once. And I wrote like a little tiny script. Is it good? No, but it's here. So, why are we here today, sillies? Because I'm gonna talk about Call of Duty. I couldn't have even been bothered to grab the footage for background stuff, at least of the new CODs, because it's 520 gigabytes. 520. I have a 2 terabyte computer. That's not like crazy or anything, but that's definitely a lot more than what most people have, and much more than what people have on a console, which is terrible. And that's just like an opening point on why COD has lost its way, which sucks because I was a massive COD fan, especially when it came to Treyarch. Treyarch will always have us on track. Treyarch's got our back, you know? The first major point beyond the incredible size of each game, because they're not optimized, which leads into this point, is the games are not optimized. And it sucks, because they don't have enough time to optimize the games, and therefore it's 520 gigabytes. It runs poorly. The code is a spaghetti mess waiting to implode, especially since they are not exactly the same copy-paste game, but there are things, at least down to the code level, that fundamentally are there and shared between the newer COD games. And with that, that means that there are flaws because they have to keep pumping the games out. And every time they add something, it's just like Band-Aid on like a leaking water cooler. It's not it's not a solution that will fix it for long, if at all. And it's terrible because leading into the next point is that there is a lot of the games now are just about making money.
Hello, I like money.
Which sucks, but also at least very for sure on the campaign and on the like zombies side, the passion that is there doesn't have time to show. Like when they're developing the game, they don't have time to actually develop or create a good product, because the people in charge just want the money and they don't care how much like time it takes you to make a good product. They just go, you have 2 weeks. Not actually 2 weeks, but you get the idea. You can't write a symphony in like a week. You can't write a book, a good competent book, in like 3 days. That stuff takes time. Years, even. It's straight up nostalgia bait at this point, because every single time they introduce a new COD, instead of actually developing it, crafting it to what is a finished product, then releasing it, they just go, hey, this one's gonna be like the old ones, and then they release it, and it's nothing like the old ones. And even if it is, then it's not going to stay that way, especially with the like skins and cosmetics, which I'll get to. That the brand loyalty that COD fanboys exhibit is so strong, not even the actual Unicorn Gundam could defeat it. It's crazy. I don't understand how people can be so dug into their brand loyalty. It's the same with like 2K and like the all those sports games. Like, how? How? I don't understand how you can continue to accept the you fell for it again award every single year and not understand. I understand that a lot of kids play COD, at least the last time I played it, which was, I would say, like 4-ish months ago. I played some Black Ops 6 and it was all just kids. And that's like totally fine. I don't want to like shun people, but I do feel like sad because kids won't get to experience the like games that we got to experience. I say that like I'm old. I'm only 22. But like when things aren't crafted out of passion, the money will not follow. It's really a shame because the passion that used to be there isn't, and so the story and the like depth that used to be there isn't there anymore. I mean, like, even look at the quality of the Easter eggs in the new games versus the old games. Like, things had a purpose and like a place and a reason, and they actually had a significant impact on story. Now that still counts, but like they just tell you straight up what to do, and it's usually just go grab these random parts and mush them together. I think that if you focus on the money and then try and make a product, you are never, ever, ever going to actually be successful. If you let your passion guide you and make something that's worth, even if it's not worth the attention of the masses, if it's something that your passion drove you to make, money will probably, no, money will follow. If it is something that is true and to your heart and crafted with care and love. But that's just not how the new COD games are. I'm not saying that people shouldn't play Call of Duty or that Call of Duty should die. I'm saying that people, especially executives, should take a step back and be like, maybe we shouldn't nickel and dime these guys. These are our players and the people who care about our product, and we went from having record launch numbers to 55k players a month, which is not anything to cough at, don't get me wrong, but for Call of Duty, one of the biggest titles in AAA gaming to exist, 55k monthly players is definitely not anywhere near record numbers of consistent players. If they want to keep pumping out the Call of Duty games, they have to at least start bringing the price down, because that's typically how it goes. You can't sacrifice the quality of the product while still increasing the price. If you're increasing the price, there has to be some sort of improvement. Not that they really are increasing the price, but they're still keeping it the same. If I gave you a Zaku and you were happy with it, and I kept releasing a Zaku 2 every single year, and then one year I decide to give you a Zaku 1, you wouldn't pay full price for the Zaku 2 and be happy, because that's a Zaku 1, that's not a Zaku 2. That doesn't make any sense. Why would you pay for the lesser version, or the full price of the better version, and receive the lesser version? It just doesn't make any sense. Something that people used to talk about in the terms of play to win or pay to win and skill-based matchmaking was how aggressive it was. And now people have tested and reported back that if you pay money, they will purposely put you against players worse than you, especially if those players aren't paying. And that's ridiculous. That's so predatory, and that is so bad for new players, and that actively, I was talking about the 55k, that alone probably is a big contributor. If you're trying to play the game for like fun, and you don't want to sink a lot of money into it, say you don't have a lot of money, especially with the current day economy, you're not going to be paying for the new Seth Rogen skin. You're going to just want to sit down and play the game. But then if somebody has paid, they're going to stop you. And if you recognize or know that that is the issue, then you're not going to want to play anymore. You're just going to go play something else. That's why games, AAAs, are doing really poorly, and indies are doing amazing, because indies don't do predatory things all the time. They rarely do, in fact, and usually their products are crafted with passion and love and care, which is great, because the product isn't as expensive. It's got more passion and drive behind it, and it doesn't try and steal fucking dollars out of your wallet around every corner. And like, you can definitely easily say, oh, well, get fucking more money than Brokey. And I counter your argument with, why? I shouldn't have to pay more in a product that I already paid full product. If you have a car and you pay full price for that car, and then every 100 miles or so, let's down that. Every 20 miles, the car will completely shut off and then just say, hey, insert credit card or you can't use this vehicle anymore. That's completely ignoring gas. Then you're not going to want to drive that car anymore. That's just how things are. And I don't understand how people have turned around and turned it into like a skill issue or a money issue. It's purely an enjoyment factor. That's why people are playing indies. People think that this argument comes from like a place of like, hot, you're a COD loser, fix your life. It doesn't. It comes from a place of sadness, because I used to love Call of Duty. I really did. And I honestly think that around Advanced Warfare was the last Call of Duty I actually enjoyed. Did it have microtransactions? Yes. Were they as predatory? No. Was the game crafted with passion and love? Yes. Did they have time to develop it properly? Yes. I even liked Ghosts. And I didn't like anything past Black Ops 3. I forgot I left out Black Ops 3, but the microtransactions were a lot more predatory in that game. But I don't get any wiggle room to speak on it because I used to grind it all the time, and I got really lucky with the supply drops, so I didn't ever have to worry about paying for it. I got all the DLC weapons and stuff without having to pay $1. Another reason why it feels stale is every game mode feels like Warzone. I understand the mentality of like, oh, Warzone's the thing that rakes in the money, so we're going to like make all the game modes similar to Warzone. But that doesn't really work when like the 3 core game modes, I guess 4 now including Warzone, are supposed to feel different and play different. But if they all look and feel the same way, then Helldivers 2. If I get bored of fighting the Terminids because it's basically COD zombies, I can immediately go to the automatons, and yes, the stratagems are the same. Yes, the stims and stuff like that and the pickups on the ground are the same, but the enemies actually are different and play differently. The automatons will try and gun you down from a distance, and they are really slow and trying to use overwhelming firepower. The Terminids try and run you down and overwhelm you with numbers, and the Illuminid are like a funky mix of both if you really want that sort of thing. And all of them offer unique gameplay aspects. But COD, it's, okay, this is Warzone against players. This is Warzone against AI, the zombies, and this is Warzone with a story that's kind of mid. What am I supposed to draw from that if they're all exactly the same? At least with Helldivers, you can make the argument of like, some stratagems work against some factions and some don't, so even if you do have stratagems, they are different because they're meant for different factions and different things, not to mention the immense variety between the stratagems if you actually play the game and unlock them all, which you can do. You can unlock the paid content for free, which, final point that I wanted to bring, I don't know if it's final, but yes, you can get the camos, and that's the grind in COD. It always is. But you can't really unlock much beyond that. You can try, but you get like usually just a shitty recolor. If you being able to earn things incentivizes people to play. Gundam Evolution, one of the best games and one of the greatest hero shooters that could easily defeated Overwatch, and my personal favorite game for a long while, failed. The server shut down. It became really big news. Even Moist Critical talked about it. And it fell because they made it. Not only was the balancing atrocious, and they would try and fix balancing by like removing a singular bullet from somebody's magazine, even though they have like a machine gun with a 45 round ammo capacity. You know, that's not going to change anything. But they also made it so you couldn't earn anything through playing. You only could pay. Playing matches meant nothing. You earned literally nothing. You couldn't get even the worst skins. You couldn't get any new mobile suits, which is crazy because you need to unlock new characters to be able to play a game. And all of these things that happened led to like a downfall of something that could have easily been one of the most beautiful and awesome games to exist. And I think about it very frequently. In fact, I still have it in my Steam library, and it's on top of my favorites. So I get to see how disappointing that was every time I open up Steam and decide what I want to play. And that's kind of what COD feels like. Yeah, you can earn the new guns, and yes, you can earn the camos, but for how long? How long before they lock the guns behind a paywall, and then the players don't have anything they can unlock besides camos, and then the new guns aren't going to be... They already kind of do that, where they will have a gun, and then they won't put it in for a bit, but then they'll make it so you can pay and get it early, or you don't have to do the grind to get the gun. And that is just a step away from paying is the only way to get that weapon. And then they don't have to worry about balancing at all because they know, well, people are going to pay to get a hold of the powerful weapon. Sorry, my cat was being loud. I had to go give him some pets. And then the final thing that I'm going to talk about that has been talked about to death is atmosphere. I am not saying anything new. People are going to hear this and go, yeah, what else? But I don't think that the skins make any sense. And I'm not just talking about the Nicki Minaj bodysuit. That's not actually a problem with me. I think it would be totally fine if she was in that game with the bodysuit and all, if she was actually properly geared up like a soldier. Or like a VIP or something. Something that made sense for her to be there. Even if it was as simple as like... Because skins can contain levels of storytelling. And that's fine. Like this is a part of character design as a whole. And listen up, kiddos. But if you can look at a character and know what's going on with that character, at least to some degree, then that is good character design. Because what you could have easily had is made her look like, underneath the armor and stuff, it looks like she just got fresh off a concert, and all of this stuff, and like maybe some of her nails are like chipped and stuff because she's had to fight for her life. And then she has like armor on top of that. And I'm not talking like medieval armor, I'm talking like actual like plate carrying stuff. Because they did that with, I want to say Modern Warfare 2, but I'm not sure, with Messi, the soccer player. They made it look like he was wearing gear and he should be there. Either as like a VIP that needed to be protected, or some other variation of that. And that's good. I don't care if Nicki Minaj is there in a bright pink bodysuit. I don't even care if Beavis and Butthead are there. But lose the anime filter and make them look like actual people and then put them in gear. That's all I care about. I want the tone and the atmosphere to be preserved so that if I look at it, I know that I am playing Call of Duty. Because if I look at it and think, that's Fortnite, that's not good. That's really not good. And I'm not saying that to be like a massive critic or anything, but I do genuinely sometimes will see on my phone a clip of Call of Duty and I think it's Fortnite. because of the same. They both have sprinting and slide hopping, and sometimes those Fortnite maps look really damn close to Call of Duty maps, and sometimes the Call of Duty maps look really close to default Fortnite maps. And then they both have flashy anime skins, both on their weapons and their characters. I don't care about the weapon skins. Like, the weapon skins can be as goofy as you want, like COD Mobile, like weapon skins, that's fine. But the actual character skins matter, at least to me, because it's the same reason I don't like Gundam Build Divers. I think that the tonal atmosphere of all of the other Gundam series, where there is high stakes and things matter, and there is a clear message to every single one of them, is good. But when you take that and go, we build the Gunpla and then make them fight, like Pokemon, and then there's these goofy, like, there's one that's a giant Gundam teddy bear. I'm not a fan of that. That kind of takes away at least the, like, message. There's other problems I have, but I'm not going to talk about. I could do an entire video talking about why I don't like Build Divers. But for now, we'll just focus on that. The tone. It's all of the Gundam series is war is gritty, bad, and terrible, but in a really in-depth way that makes you want to feel for it. As cool as the mobile suits are. But Build Divers completely takes that and it's like, well, let's just focus on the cool suits. Which in some aspects is neat, but also at the same time, without the tone, I don't care about it. I don't care about the stakes or the characters or anything to that level. I want my characters to be going through something that matters. Otherwise, I can't relate to them. If I can't relate to a character, and I don't mean on skin color, gender identity, or anything like that, if their journey is insignificant, then I don't care. I'm not going to relate to them. And that's not a problem that I want for COD. I don't want people to be, like, super attached to their character. But in a way, I do at the same time, because in the old CODs, being bathed in heavenly light, the old CODs, you were just a dude. Your uniform and stuff changes based on your loadout or your team, meaning that you weren't an important big shot superhero. And that's okay. I understand that Activision wants to make money and that's why they do it. And just ignore it. Like, it's not that important. But it's not fun. If I can't recognize that as COD, then I'm just gonna go play Fortnite, because at least Fortnite is fun to play. They have way more items and abilities and things that are available to me that I can be goofy with and set up and have fun with. But in COD, I'm limited by my loadout and the game not having goofy items, but still having goofy skins. I know some of the weapons are goofy, don't come for me. But like the goofiest thing I can do with an item is like run someone over with a quad or a helicopter, which is really funny. But otherwise I'm quite limited. And that's not very fun. That being said, I don't know. This entire thing is just an open-ended rant. All of these things are things that I've not only experienced, but have heard people talk about. I really think if Activision was to wisen up, they would slow down the COD releases so that the people who have passion for the projects, because there are people who have passion. There are people who have passion, especially when it comes to like the zombies stuff, but they don't have the time to properly tell it. And so now you have no characters that have any significance to the story, because you can just be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle and play zombies. And all of the like atmosphere of like we're in danger is completely gone. To the point that people are making like fan games of the old COD Zombies because they miss it so much. And the new stuff doesn't count. Like, it does in their heart, it doesn't have that vibe. Because the original stuff was supposed to be horror themed, but now it's not scary. It's not scary at all. And like, sure, they know that kids are playing it, and they don't want to traumatize poor little Timmy, but in the same vein, poor little Timmy, their mom should be checking and parenting them. So if poor little Timmy gets traumatized, it's the parents' fault, not the company's fault. And the company needs to focus on making a good product, not a safe product for everyone to consume. I don't know. This is a really open-ended rant. It's not really going to go anywhere. But I really hope that somebody gets what I'm talking about. Because it's frustrating. It's frustrating because I miss Call of Duty. And that's probably the title of the video right there. I miss Call of Duty. I wish it was good. It's just not anymore, and that's the biggest issue. Thank you for listening to my little rant. See ya, sillies.